Hey there, all you cosmic cats and kittens out in deep space. Welcome to the premiere episode of the Rock and Roll Brat with Cesca TomCat. That's me, coming to you from my underground bunker on the outskirts of Detroit and broadcasting into the ether. I'll be playing you some of my favorite tunes, music that's changed my life, rarities, B-sides, and arcane 45s, lost to the annals of time, in an effort to introduce some old shit to a new generation. So if you're just another midnight pervert like me, looking for a real cool time, daddy-o, well then you've come to the right place. Because this quixotic creature of the night, this rock and roll weirdo from outer space, is here to put some sleazy music in your face. Been a passion project of mine for well over 10 years, so I hope you enjoy. And if you don't, well, ain't that tough shit. Maybe you'll like some of the dick jokes.
Hey, Johnny, what color are her eyes?
I don't know. She's always wearing shades.
Is she tall?
Well, I gotta look up.
Yeah, well, I hear she's pretty bad.
Well, she's good bad, but she ain't evil.
Alright, enough of this talking bullshit. Let's play some of the devil's music. Here's the Cramps doing their version of Faster Pussycat Kill Kill.
If you like to see beautiful girls driving fast sports cars and breaking joculatory type men's spines, boom. If you want wild living fast, and if you want to end up giving your all, let's because Pussycat, she's living reckless. Pussycat, she's riding high. If you think that you can take her, well, just you try. It's that she doesn't see what's wrong from right. She's running fast and free, child of the night. Pussycat, she's riding high. If you think that you can take her, well, just you try. Give it a try, go on.
This song was originally recorded by the short-lived California band the Boss Tweeds for the Russ Meyer movie of the same name, Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, in 1965. And yes, that is a Tammany Hall reference. How sweet of you to notice. That version you just heard by the Cramps is off the record Smell of Female. Next, I'd like to play for you my favorite band of all time, and that's the fucking Ramones. These leather-clad Vikings certainly saved my life a time or two. They taught me I don't have to apologize for being who I am. I don't have to apologize for being angry or bored or for being a sexy loser. And they're really the catalyst behind the show. Because at the end of the day, I just want to have something to do. So here they are doing my favorite song, Slug, from the album Rocket to Russia, 1977.
always this way. Lying in bed for summer's night. Everything was alright. Something started growing on me. Why? Started walking in the woods last night, and I knew something wasn't right. That's a Eugene. I know. Why she have to go? I saw her walking in the woods last night, and I knew something wasn't right. That's a Eugene. I know. Why she have to go? And I know that if I had her back today, yeah, I know. Why is it always this way? S-O-U-G, 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 S-O-U-G.
Oh, God, I love that song. So just to let everyone know, Joe Ramone is my spirit animal, so we'll be listening to a lot of Ramones on this show. So if you don't like the Ramones, you should probably just go fuck yourself. Next up, we're actually going to play a band that influenced the Ramones, and it has a Phil Spector tie-in, obviously, since the Ramones' End of the Century album was produced by Phil Spector, and all the crazy lore that surrounds that I'm sure we'll get into in a future episode. But here are the Crystals doing He's a Rebel.
See the way he walks down the street, watch the way he shuffles his feet. My hold his head up high when he goes walking by. He's my guy. When he holds my hand, I'm so proud, 'cause he's not just one of the crowd. My baby always the one to try the thing they've never done, and just because of that they say, hey, he's a rebel and you'll never ever be any good. He's a rebel 'cause he never ever does what he should do, just because he doesn't do what everybody else does. That's no reason why I can't give him all my love. He is always good to me, always treats me tenderly, 'cause he's my rebel, no. He's my rebel, no, to me. If they don't like him that way, they won't like me after today. And I'll be standing right by his side when they say, he's a rebel and he'll never ever be any good. He's a rebel 'cause he never ever does what he should do, just because he doesn't do what everybody else does. That's no reason why we can't share a love. He is always good to me, good to him I try to be, 'cause he's not rebel, no. He's not rebel, no, to me. Oh, he's not rebel, no,
All right, that fantastic song was actually written by Gene Pitney, who you might remember as the man who did Town Without Pity. If you ever saw the movie Look Who's Talking, you've heard that song. He also did The Man That Shot Liberty Valance, which is kind of one I'm sure younger people aren't going to know. It's kind of a cool factoid. Totally worthless. Doesn't matter at all. But that song's from 1962, and the Crystals and a lot of those girl groups from the 60s were big influences on the Ramones, and a lot of the sound that Joey especially liked to put into the music. And in that same vein, the next tune I'm going to play for you is a song by the Coasters, who were originally known as the Robins, who recorded Smokey Joe's Cafe, which you'll definitely hear in a later broadcast. But here we're actually going to do Poison Ivy. So here's the Coasters doing Poison Ivy.
She comes on like a rose, but everybody knows she'll get you in touch. You can look, but you better not touch. Poison ivy, poison ivy. Late at night while you're sleeping, poison ivy comes a-creeping around. She's pretty as a daisy, but look out, man, she's crazy. She'll really do you in if you let her get under your skin. Poison ivy, poison ivy. Late at night while you're sleeping, poison ivy comes a-creeping around. Measles make you bumpy, and mumps will make you lumpy, and chicken pox will make you jump and twitch. A common cold will fool you, and whooping cough can cool you, but poison ivy, Lord, will make you itch. You're gonna need an ocean of calamine lotion. You'll be scratching like a hound the minute you start to mess around. Poison ivy, poison ivy. Late at night while you're sleeping, poison ivy comes a-creeping around. Measles make you bumpy, and mumps will make you lumpy, and chicken pox will make you jump and twitch. A common cold will fool you, and whooping cough can cool you, but poison ivy, Lord, will make you itch. You're gonna need an ocean of calamine lotion. You'll be scratching like a hound the minute you start to mess around. Poison ivy, poison ivy. Late at night while you're sleeping, poison ivy comes a-creeping around. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la.
All right, here's a fun fact about that song. That's actually where Poison Ivy Rorschach from the Cramps got her name. It's from the Coasters tune. Next up, I'm going to play someone that you better have heard of. If you haven't heard of him, what rock have you been living under? This is Chuck Berry, the man who started it all, the Thomas Edison of rock and roll, doing Havana Moon.
Havana moon, Havana moon. Me all alone with jug of rum. Me stand and wait for boat to come. It's long the night, it's quite the dark. The boat she late since 12 o'clock. Me watch the tide easing in. It's low the moon, but high the wind. Havana moon, Havana moon. Me all alone, me open the rum. It's long the wait for boat to come. American girl, come back to me. We'll sail away across the sea. We'll dock in New York, the buildings high. We find a home up in the sky. Havana moon, Havana moon. Me still alone, me sip on the rum. Me wonder when the boat she come to bring me love. Ow, sweet little thing. She rock and roll, she dance and sing. She hold me tight, she touch me lips, me eyes they close, me heart she flip. Havana moon, Havana moon. But still alone, me drinking the rum, begin to think they both no come. American girl, she tell a lie, she say till then, she mean goodbye. Havana moon, Havana moon. Me lay down alone, was good to rum. Me fall asleep, the boat she come, the girl she look, till come the dawn. She weep and cry, return for home. The whistle blow, me open me eyes, was bright the sun, was blue the skies. Me grab me shoes, me jump and run, me see the boat head for horizon. Havana moon is gone the rum, the boat she sail, me love she gone. Havana moon, Havana moon.
Next up, I'd like to play someone that was deeply influenced by the music of the 50s and did a very good job reviving that into the 70s. And that's sort of the OG and fellow Lonely Planet boy, Mr. Johnny Thunders. He was sort of a tragic figure on the 1970s punk scene. He struggled with heroin addiction, much like Dee Dee Ramone, but somehow through it, or because of it, in spite of it, he wrote some amazingly tender music. Here he is with the Heartbreakers, doing a song that certainly moves me, and that's called Born to Lose.
Baby
All right, that was off the album from 1977, LAMF. And for those of you who don't know what that means, LAMF is Like a Motherfucker. That's one of those albums that does come at you like a motherfucker. I just never tire of listening to it, especially now in a world that continues to beat us into submission. Life's well-intentioned but emotional losers. The free thought and rebellion of rock and roll on an album like this is more imperative than ever. It's just when that album kicks off, I'm just immediately jetted onto some other plane where art and sincerity and soul hold some kind of cosmic currency. Living in the city, it will eat out your heart. Which sort of brings us to our next tune. Let's stay on the gritty, dirty side of the city. From my hometown, here in Detroit, the Stooges were just a hugely influential band on the entire punk scene. Iggy's called the godfather of punk, and the Detroit sound is so raw and mean and just fun. And they're a huge influence, especially on what happened later in the New York scene. So here's a tune called Down on the Street. This is by Iggy and the Stooges off their Funhouse album. It's from 1970. Fuck yeah. Deep in the Night, I'm Lost in Love too. Obviously, that's just such a fucking killer tune. You can't really compete with the Stooges. They're just so just raw and in your face. And I think it really speaks to Detroit music even today. There's so many talented people in this city, and all the hardship and all the hurdles and all the bullshit, it's only made people more creative, more artistic. It's only made the music and the art scene so much more genuine. Detroit music will kick any city's ass any day. Hopefully we'll get to have some of our favorite Detroit musicians on this show, because there's just such a wide pool of talent and just so many creative, interesting people on the scene. Detroit music is so rich and textured and just blow you away. So hopefully we'll get to play more local stuff that you've never heard before, but you should, because it's fucking killer. But let's go back to New York for a minute with the New York Dolls, which is Johnny Thunders' first band, along with David Johansen, Sylvain, Arthur Kane, Jerry Nolan. They put together, this sort of motley crew of fucking street kids dressed in women's clothes, putting on their girlfriend's lipstick, and sort of created quite a stir on the New York scene. And it would go on to influence a lot of other bands and sort of pave the way for that, like the Ramones and the Cramps and Richard Hell and that kind of stuff that would then turn into influencing all the English punk bands. So I want to do a song that's about, well, maybe I'll let you figure out what it's about. It's called Jet Boy.
You so far up in the sky, faster than any boy could ever describe. Who's that got a love so deep with everything alive? I said, Jet Boy's fly, Jet Boy's gone, Jet Boy's stole my baby. Flying around New York City so high, like he was my baby. This is the kind of place where no one cares what you're living for. And Jet Boy's so preoccupied, he don't care about before. And that's why Jet Boy's fly, Jet Boy's gone, Jet Boy's stole my baby. Flying around New York City so high, like he was my baby. My baby. Jet Boy's flying up, Jet Boy's gone, Jet Boy stole my baby. Flying around New York City so high, like he was my baby. We was all engaged in tongues, swear we're having fun. And Jet Boy knows that they're always done. That's why he's the one. That's why Jet Boy's fly, Jet Boy's gone, Jet Boy stole my baby. Flying around New York City so high, like he was my baby. My pretty baby, my pretty, pretty baby, my pretty baby. When I first came around and stuff, I knew I
right. That song was recorded in 1973. Let's go back a year. I just want to note that the 70s in New York were a really sort of grimy, dangerous time. New York was not like it is now, where everything's gentrified and there's like a hipster donut shop on every corner. It really was a dangerous place, and there was a lot of drugs, a lot of, vice, a lot of mayhem. It was a hotbed of activity that was dangerous, but also I think it spurred the creativity of the era. So let's keep with the theme of the seedy underbelly of New York in the 70s, and let's listen to Curtis Mayfield from the Superfly soundtrack doing Pusher Man.
I'm your mama.
Gotta get mellow, y'all. But I'm not gonna let you get too mellow because I'm gonna dick slap you with some Prince right now. Here's Dirty Mind. God, that song's just dripping with sex. I mean, Prince is dripping with sex. If you've ever seen the album cover for Dirty Mind, he is in a leather jacket with no shirt and just a codpiece. And if any of us had any balls, we'd walk around like that too. I remember a friend of mine was going to a Prince concert probably about a year before he died. And I was like, why didn't you invite me to go? I would have loved to have gone to the Prince concert with you. He's like, you already have one kid. You don't need another one. You know, you're going to take one look at Prince and that's going to be it. And so I thought that was pretty fitting, actually. Prince was just probably the sexiest, musician of all time. Just a guitar god. So if you're not hip with Prince, you got to get with it. All right, and on that note, let's go back a little bit to the 60s with a band called the Rivingtons. I'm just going to play the tune and then we'll talk about it after.
Funniest sound I ever heard, and I can't understand a single word. Is he serious or is he playing? Oh, mama, is all he's saying, Papa. I said, hey there, mama, what's your name? Don't you dare tell me to say no way. The word you saying I can't figure out, but you got a sound make me stomp and shout, Papa. Now I hear this sound everywhere I go, on the records, TV, and the radio. And now it's spreading out over the land. I still can't seem to understand, Papa.
My God, that's such a fucking awesome sonic assault. That band, the Rivingtons, you've actually heard them before, even if you haven't heard the song Papa Uma Mau. They were the ones that were doing a lot of the claps and shouting on Dwayne Eddy's Rebel Rouser, and also Thurston Harris's Little Bitty Pretty One. So if you've ever seen the movie Matilda, you've heard that song. And if you've ever seen the movie Forrest Gump, you've heard Rebel Rouser. And they're just a cool fucking band in their own right. And they were a big influence on the Ramones. The punk scene sort of took the song Bird's the Word, and they turned it into the song Surfin' Bird. It was originally by the Trashmen, and then the Ramones did a version, the Cramps did a version, and it's just like this sort of punk classic now. But that was all started by the Rivingtons. Speaking of rockabilly, like the Dwayne Eddy Rebel Rouser, I wanted to play some Carl Perkins for you. It's a fucking cool tune. He was the guy that did Rope Blue Suede Shoes, which I'm sure you've heard the Elvis version of, but he was the original writer of that song. Here he's doing a song called Put Your Cat Clothes On, which of course is near and dear to my feline heart.
Took my blue suede shoes down to old Mobile. Got to rockin' with a rhythm, run 'em over at the hill. Put your cat clothes on, 'cause tonight we're gonna really rock it right. Yeah, kitty, put your cat clothes on, 'cause tonight we're gonna bop 'em right. Well, I slick up myself till I look like a dilly. I run downtown and get my female. Really put your cat clothes on, 'cause tonight we're gonna rock it right. Yeah. Kitty, put your cat clothes on, 'cause tonight we're gonna really rock it right. Rock it! it. For all the Hellcats know, she gets that bopping beat. She knocks the pies off her throat. Your cat goes on. Oh, tonight we're gonna rock it right. Yeah, kitty, put your cat clothes on. Oh, tonight we're gonna bop it right. Sky cat. Keep your hand on that fruit jar. Do some bebop and rhythm. Pick the toenails up tomorrow. Put your cat clothes on. Cause tonight we're gonna really rock it right. Bump, bump, rock it right. Bump, bump, rock it right. Cat clothes on. Cause tonight we're gonna try to rock it right. Well, cat, cat, cat coat. Cat, cat, cat coat. Cat, cat, cat coat. Cat, cat. Cat clothes it, cat clothes on. Night we're gonna really rock it right.
That was recorded at Sun Records, and that's in Memphis, Tennessee, and that was a very important piece of rock and roll history. It's really a cornerstone of what propelled rock and roll to become what it is. I'm sure you've heard of the other famous names from that studio, like Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Roy Orbison, Jerry Lee Lewis, The Killer. It's really an important piece of the puzzle. And if you've ever seen the Jim Jarmusch film Mystery Train, maybe you know what I'm talking about. Which actually brings me to my next selection. Someone who happened to be in that film, and that's Screamin' Jay Hawkins, the original goth rocker. Here he is doing a song called Ashes.
Ashes, ashes, ashes of a broken heart, burned out, ashes are the only remaining
bitch, shut up.
Fun fact, that's actually my daughter's favorite song in the world. So she's fucking cool, and she's only 7. Way cooler than I was at that age. But I want to take a trip to New Orleans now. Talk about someone who I've loved since I was a kid myself, and that's Fats Domino. And my father got me into Fats Domino. He used to own a restaurant, and we would go there on the weekends and have to spend the whole day there. The only fun that I had, besides playing a centipede game that he had there, was listening to records on the jukebox. And they had 145 by Fats Domino, and it was Jambalaya, which is actually a Hank Williams song. But my dad would sing it all the time, and he would sing the Fats Domino version, and it's very near and dear to my heart. It's a fantastic song, and just Fats Domino is just a fantastic piano player and just another big piece of the rock and roll puzzle. I'm going to play for you a song here called I'm Ready, because I think it really has that rock and roll spirit.
Well, I'm ready, I'm willing, and I'm able to rock and roll all night. I'm ready, I'm willing, and I'm able to rock and roll all night. Come on, pretty baby, we're gonna rock, we're gonna roll until the broad daylight, because I'm ready, and I'm able, I'm willing and I'm able, so you better come and go with me. We're gonna rock and roll, tell them more about free. Talking on the phone is not my speed. Don't send me no letter, cause I can't read. Don't be long, cause I be gone. We gon' rock and roll all night long, cause I'm ready, I'm willing, and I'm able to rock and roll all night. I'm ready, I'm willing, and I'm able to rock and roll all night. Come on, pretty baby, we're gonna rock, we're gonna roll until tomorrow night. Talking on the phone is not my speed. Don't send me no letter, cause I can't read. Don't be long, cause I be gone. We gon' rock and roll all night long, cause I'm ready, I'm willing, and I'm able to rock and roll all night. I'm ready, I'm willing, and I'm able to rock and roll all night. Come on, pretty baby, we're gonna rock, we're gonna roll until tomorrow night.
Oh, man, Fats Domino can just wail on the piano. But I want to move kind of ahead a little bit, and we wouldn't have the Frank Zappas of the world without the Fats Dominoes of the world. But I'm going to move into some harder rocking stuff from the 70s, from the mastermind that is Frank Zappa. I actually got into Frank Zappa because I was in college and I had a music course, and a professor had us like raise our hands. He's like, how many of you, have Frank Zappa in your collection? And almost no one raised their hand. And he's like, well, that's good, because you shouldn't. And it was in that moment I was like, whatever Frank Zappa is, I need to know it, because if this guy's saying don't listen to it, my first instinct was I have to have it. I have to have every album. I have to know what it is, because there's obviously something subversive about it if this guy's going to go so far as to say don't even bother to listen. So, of course, I immediately fell in love with it. And I wanted to play a song from One Size Fits All. And it's a fucking cool tune. It's really interesting. It doesn't really sound like anything else other than his own work. So here's San Bernardino.
She lives in Mojave in a Winnebago. His name is Bobby, he looks like a potato.
gonna shoot when they let those suckers go. He got sovereign drunk at the Palomino. They give him 30 days in San Bernardino. Well, there's 44 men stashed away in tank seat, and there's only one shower, but it don't apply to Bobby. Well, you might think they're dumb and lonely, but you're wrong, 'cause their love is strong. Stacked up hair and a cheap little ring. They don't care, 'cause it don't mean a thing. Look at that. They don't care. This way that they can feel, oh, out on the highway, rolling the wheel, oh, he's her pussy, she's for real, oh, tell them what heaven is a real good deal, oh, 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 no, no. San Bernardino.
such a killer song. I actually got to meet Dweezil Zappa after a Zappa Plays Zappa show where he was doing Frank's music. And I have to tell you, beyond being just an amazingly talented guitarist in his own right, he was an incredibly kind human being. He stayed after the concert and signed autographs and took pictures and just shook hands with literally every single person that wanted to say hi to him. And it was just so impressive. And it stuck with me for years. That was almost 15 years ago now. Just a totally cool, kind soul. That sort of brings me into, I wanted to switch gears a little bit to something a little more emotional. Sort of music for a mellow mood. I want to switch into some Townes Van Zandt, who is one of my favorite songwriters of all time. He could write such beautiful, emotional music. But I want to play a bit of a sad one, something a little more melancholic. And this is from the 70s, 1972, off the album High, Low, and In Between. Here's To Live Is to Fly.
I won't say I love you, babe. Won't say I need you, babe. But I'm gonna get you, babe, and I will not do you wrong. Living's mostly wasting time, and I waste my share of mine. But it never feels too good, so let's don't take too long. Well, you're soft as glass, and I'm a gentle man. And we got the sky to talk about and the world to lie upon. The days up and down they come, like rain on a conga drum. Forget most, remember some, but don't turn none away. Everything is not enough, and nothing is too much to bear. And where you've been is good and gone, all you keep's the getting there. Well, to live's to fly, all low and high. So shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. Goodbye to all my friends, it's time to go again. But think all the poetry and the picking down the line. Well, I'll miss the system here, the bottom's low and the treble's clear. But it don't pay to think too much on things you leave behind. Well, it may be gone, but it won't be long. I'll be bringing back the melody and rhythm that I find. We all got holes to fill, and them holes are all that's real. Some fall on you like a storm, sometimes you dig your own. Choice is yours to make, and time is yours to take. Some dive into the sea, some toil upon the stone. Where to live's to fly, all low and high. So shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. Oh, shake the dust off of your wings and the tears out of your eyes.
Living's mostly wasting time. That lyric has haunted me since the second I heard it. And it has compelled me to live my life in a different way, especially from where I was 10 years ago when I first heard that song. It's about making it count. You know, we only get one go-round on this bullshit carousel. We might as well find what makes us happy and just fucking do that. And I don't know if there is a more poetic songwriter than that, but maybe Lou Reed gives him a run for his money. So on that note, let's play a really romantic selection from Transformer, Perfect Day.
Just a perfect day. Drink sangria in the park. And then later, when it gets dark, we go home. Just a perfect day. Feed animals in the zoo. Then later, a movie too, and then home. Oh, it's such a perfect day. I'm glad I spent it with you. Oh, such a perfect day. You just keep me hanging on. You just keep just a perfect day. Problems all left alone. Weekenders on our own. It's such fun. Just a perfect day. You made me forget myself. I thought I was someone else, someone good. Oh, it's such a perfect day. I'm glad I spent it with you. Oh, such a perfect day. You just keep me hanging on. You just keep me hanging on. You're going to reap just what you sow. You're going to reap just what you sow. You're going to reap just what you sow. You're going to reap just what you sow.
I think far and away Lou Reed's most beautiful and romantic song. And on that note, I want to move into some Tom Waits. And Tom Waits was someone that came into my life through a good friend of mine who introduced me to his music back in a very transformative time in my life, up to get out of a really bad marriage. And I didn't know where I was going to go or what I was going to do, but that I had to get out. This friend of mine, and he introduced me to Tom Waits, and sort of my whole world opened up. I was like, wait a minute, there's people out there that feel exactly all the weird, fucked up feelings I feel, and they're singing about it and stomping and yelling, and it's so fucking real and cool and just, you know, touched me on a really deep level. Once, like, how am I ever going to thank you? You know, you gave me Tom Waits. I can't I can't thank you enough. He said it was always in you. It didn't matter. You know, you've been there. I just helped you along a little bit. I want to play another sort of heady selection. It's called That Feel, and it's off of Tom Waits' album Bone Machine. So wild and raw, and it sort of gets me in touch with my sort of more primal id self. I don't know, it feeds a different part of my soul. Not necessarily the rebellious part, but the more schmaltzy, sort of lachrymose, vulnerable, more mysterious part of me that I don't, totally know how to reckon with. And listening to Tom's music helps me do that, and I hope it will help you too. And I think a good transition from that is Mr. Leonard Cohen. I think sort of the Canadian answer to Tom Waits in his songwriting, his depth, his poetry. Right now, it's not technically a song, I guess. It's a recitation of a poem from his Live in Dublin album. If this doesn't move you, you better have somebody take your fucking pulse.
Came to me this morning and you handled me like meat. You'd have to be a man to know how good that feels, how sweet. My mirror twin, my next of kin, I'd know you in my sleep. And who but you would take me in 1,000 kisses deep. I loved you when you opened like a lily to the heat. Say I'm just another snowman standing in the rain and sleet, who loved you with his frozen love, his second-hand physique, with all he is and all he was, 1,000 kisses deep. I know you had to lie to me, I know you had to cheat, to pose all hot and high behind the veils of sheer deceit. Our perfect porn aristocrat, so elegant and cheap. I'm old, but I'm still into that, 1,000 kisses deep. I'm good at love, I'm good at hate. It's in between I freeze. Been working out, but it's too late. It's been too late for years. But you look good, you really do. They love you on the street. If I could move, I'd kneel for you 1,000 kisses deep. I'm still working with the wine, still dancing cheek to cheek. The band is playing Old Lang Syne, but the heart will not retreat. I ran with Diz, I sang with Ray. I never had their sweep, but once or twice they let me play 1,000 kisses deep. The autumn moved across your skin, got something in my eye, a light that doesn't need to live and doesn't need to die. A riddle in the book of love, obscure and obsolete, till witnessed here in time and blood, 1,000 kisses deep. I loved you when you opened like a lily to the heat. You see, I'm just another snowman standing in the rain and sleet, who loved you with his frozen love, his second-hand physique, with all he is and all he was, 1,000 kisses deep. Well, that's my story, I admit. It's broken and it's bleak, but all the twisted pieces fit, 1,000 kisses deep.
There's several versions that he does of that. This is my absolute favorite version of that, but there's something about it. It's so resonant, and it drills into me in a way where it gets to my emotions and who I am at my very core, my most vulnerable, in a way that's very intimate. Like he might as well just have written it about me, or written it about you. And it's so universal. We're sort of reaching the end of our program here. I have one more song by someone I hope you know, and if you don't, get ready, because it's an amazing blues artist who influenced a lot of the different people I've already played today, Tom Waits especially, but that's Howlin' Wolf. And he's from the 1950s, and if you don't like this song, you should have your head examined. There's something wrong with you. You need help.
I should have quit you a long time ago. I should have quit you, babe, long time ago. I should have quit you and went on to Mexico. If I had a follow my first mind, my first mind, friend come from Mexico and me. But no, I'm fooling with you, baby. I'll let you put me on the killing floor. God knows I should have been gone. God knows I should have been gone. And I wouldn't have been here down on the killing floor.
Oh my God, that song gives me chills every time I listen to it. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. I'll never get sick of hearing it. I could only listen to just that song forever. But that's going to do it for tonight. We're moving into the wee hours of the night. It's midnight here. I don't know what time it is where you are, but it's always sort of the wee hours of the night for me, in my mind. I hope you enjoyed this program. I plan on doing more shows. Some themed, some just sort of free-form, just playing just cool music that I think people of the, kids of the next generation would like to hear. And until next time, this is Cesca TomCat, and you're listening to the Rock and Roll Brat. If you like what you heard today and you want to follow me on Instagram or maybe send me an email, or maybe you hated what you heard today and you want to send me a nasty complaint letter, it's the same address either way. At CTomcat55 on Instagram. That's the letter C, TOMCAT 55. And CescaTomCat at gmail.com. CESCATOMCAT at gmail.com. So, hope to hear from you. A big thank you to Chris Kodish and Dylan Dunbar for the original theme music. Two great Detroit musicians in their own right. You should follow them on Instagram too. Check out where they're playing next and support your local music scene.